from?
Moldova, Romania.
Oh, we've got everybody from Europe today.
Oh, yes?
Turkey,
Europa.
France,
France?
Australia.
She speaks France.
I also, yeah.
Oh, Africa today. How many in your group? Two?
Two.
Well, come on over. They have me to take your picture real quick. When you get back, you'll have something silly to look at.
Okay.
We're going to go over to the house, but you can come back and look through here later. It's almost time to...
Okay, so you need to do... Я не хочу. А, окей. Ну давай вместе. Sorry. Ну, мы посмотрим.
Sue Ellen. Sue Ellen's sister. That's the one that's started. No, that's backwards. If you put your hands in your lap, sit up straight, don't do your knee up. I'll fix that. I'm gonna rearrange that anyway.
Because I want to be like this.
Sit up like, don't put your knee up.
Like this. Straight.
Get rid of this. I'll fix this. Sit up straight. Sit up straight. Turn this way. And look at me. Perfect. Thank you. And lean towards center. Right there. Say Dallas.
Dallas.
Big smile. Say JR.
Yeah.
Now let's look.
Because she doesn't know, I know.
Very good.
Thank you.
You did good. In just a minute, we're going to go over to the house.
Okay.
But you can come back and look through here later.
Okay. Okay, thank you very
You'll
much.
be leaving in the back.
Okay, yes.
60 seconds.
Thank you very much. Bine ați venit în lumea Dallasului! Nu știu voi, dar eu... Stați puțin, că n-am văzut ce ați comentat, nu știu, eu am apucat așa să fac live-ul, nici nu știam dacă o să meargă, dacă nu merge îmi spuneți, dacă nu se aude, dacă nu se vede și îl întrerup fără nicio... Asta a fost copilăria mea, nu știu voastră, dar eu joia seara fugeam, cât era acolo, 300 de metri noaptea spre bunii mei ca să văd, pentru că nu aveam televizor de săracă ce eram și mă duceam și mă uitam la un televizor de pe timpuri la bunii mei la Dallas, vai de mine. Asta vă arăt. Cosmin, dacă întreabă Soelen de mine să-i spui că sunt bine sănătos. Bună la toată lumea! Și dacă ați văzut, mai este o fată cu mine, este verișoara mea. Ea, de fapt, nu are idee despre ce este Dallasul. Mie îmi plăcea... Wow, vai de mine, nu mai pot. Ce norocoasă sunt că am ajuns și este deschis. The man the whole world loves to hate. Deci nu va veni un vlog despre Dallas, va fi doar și asta a fost Dallasul ultimul care a fost făcut în ce an? În 2012, dacă nu mă greșesc. Știați că în 95 de țări a fost transmis acest serial de succes. De fapt, au început cu câteva episoade și nici nu se gândeau că va deveni un sezon și au făcut până la 13 sezoane, dacă nu mă greșesc. Nu uitați să comentați. Da. A, da?
Okay, if you're on the next tour, if you could just head through the last doors, take a seat on the trail.
Ok, thank you. Трактор? Tractor, atât e bine tractor. A, și plouă, desigur plouă. Păi ce să facem? Așa este în Dallas, în Texas, acum plouă. Astăzi, de fapt, plouă în tot Texasul și cred că și la New Orleans. E joia cu...
Okay, if y'all want to take a seat on the tram, any seat?
Давай, да. А то тебе же трактор. Oh, uitați-vă și steagul românesc. Hello, Romania!
Где молдавский?
Nu. La mine pe rucsac.
Давай, давай. А где твой это? А, у тебя нету сюда?
Da, să știți că aici este foarte frumos.
Hard to say.
Is the front seat a good seat?
Da, într-adevăr, Cosmin, așa am înțeles și eu că este foarte mică.
I'm so excited I can't breathe.
Me
It's
too.
true. Did you watch it?
Of course, when I was a child.
Child, okay. I wasn't a child.
Where are you from?
South Africa.
Oh wow, and you watch it from there, from South Africa? Wow.
Every Tuesday evening.
Oh, Tuesday. For me it was Thursday evening. Yes.
Okay.
Deci cât suntem noi astăzi? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 90 persoane. Avem tot tractorul pentru noi, remorca, 2 remorce. Și puțin pornește furtuna. Bună ziua, România! De mult am mers cu tractorul, mă duceam după paie. România?
Morning, welcome to South Fork Ranch. My name is Brian. I'll be taking you over to the mansion for your tour and point out a few things along the way. These flags you see flying on your right are representative of the 96 different countries where the show is broadcast to. It's also translated into 55 different languages. And we rotate these out throughout the year so all countries get represented. If you look off to your left at this odd-looking blue iron structure, that's what remains of an oil drilling derrick that was brought here in the mid-'80s by the owner of South Fork at the time with his hope and dream of drilling for oil here on South Fork. Unfortunately, for his dream to be realized, left is our Mare Motel. This is where we consider a working Texas ranch. It's approximately 300 acres, but we still do house some horses and livestock on the property. Primarily American paint horses, miniature horses, donkeys, some llamas, and naturally some Texas Longhorn
Deci au
cattle.
cai, măgari, lama.
Further on up. Barn coming up on our left is our party barn or U-barn. If you were to go online and book a horseback trail right on the property, this is where you go to get your horse and your trail guide. And just a little further down, directly next to it, that building is...
Și acolo ați văzut rodeo se face, dar acum se fac așa, niște... Stați.
And it's pretty much left the way it was when filming had stopped. And it is one of the many buildings on the property that is open for you to tour and to photograph.
Как красиво, да?
Coming up on our left is our
Красиво.
Longhorn barn. This is where we house our Longhorn cattle. However, they do have free range from the barn to the pasture on the
Нет,
side
не
and in the
воняет,
front of
это
the mansion.
пахнет.
And depending on the time of day, whether in their mood,
Verișoara zis că miroase urât. Nu, zis că pute, dar eu zic nu, miroase frumos.
today, there's a few right back here by the entrance to the barn. And directly in front of you is the backside of the Ewing mansion. Barn coming up on our right, called our stud barn. This is one of the many
Мы можем пешком потом быстро пройти.
where from time to time we need to bring the animals in from out of the elements.
Только не скажи, что это маленькое ранчо. Это маленькое ранчо.
And slowly approaching on our right is the Ewing Graveyard. It contains headstone markers for Jock, Giselle, J.R. The dates that are on these headstones reflect the dates that they appeared on the show, not their actual birth or death date. And it's not a real cemetery, they are not buried there.
A zis că nu e un adevărat cimitir.
Under the orange neon sign, Lincolns and Longhorns, that building houses Jock Ewing's 1978 Mark V Lincoln Continental, also known as
Da, și se fac evenimente private ca anunți.
Has less than 30,000 original miles on it. And that building as well is open for you to view and to photograph the vehicle. And we're slowly approaching what's known as International Drive. This is the famous iconic driveway where you see Ewing cars turning off the main road, go through gate number 3 under the South Fork Arch at the far end, and make the long drive down the driveway, turning in the back side of the mansion. It did appear to be a lot longer on the actual TV show, and that was due to the miracle of cinematography. They would take many shots of the vehicle advancing forward, then backing up again, slice them together, and make the drive
Intrăm acum! Wow, câte emoții!
We now made a final turn into the mansion. I ask you please stay aboard the tram until I come to a complete stop and shut the tractor off. At that time you can exit to your left. I will take you on up to the back porch, get your tickets, and turn you over to a tour guide. Hope you all have a great day and enjoy your tour of Southport.
Ты мне сделаешь фотки на твоем телефоне потом это, да? Ой, надо тикет показать, но я уже не знаю, где я его поставила. Как будто я без тикет буду, да? Тут. Ups. Da, pentru fanii, da, și au venit, ați văzut, din Africa, vin oameni din Australia, din Africa de Sud, au zis că și, adică și din Franța sunt. Nu pot să vă redau cum mă simt acum. De parcă am iarăși 10 ani. Mă scuzați, dar totuși filmez cu GoPro pentru că îmi zic că dacă se întrerupe, cel puțin pot să fac vreo 5 minute.
Pay your tickets, please.
Oh, sorry.
Thanks. We'll ride out.
Oh, I put this ticket now. I know it's here. I don't know where I put it. Maybe here. Sorry.
You can set your camera down.
Yeah, because I need 2 hands. Yeah, I know it.
Thank you. Go right on in and enjoy the tour.
Thank you.
Good morning. How are you?
Ah, thank you very much. Good morning.
Nice to have you. You look adorable.
Thank
Come
you.
on in.
Yeah.
You can just go right on back. Have
Okay.
a seat in one of
Okay,
those
thank
chairs
you.
back there.
Okay, thank you very much.
All right. We're going to get started here this morning. Have a seat, darling. Of course, my name is Vicki. I'm going to be your guide through the house today. Where are you from today?
Romania and Moldova.
Okay, very good. Where are you from? Okay, where are you from?
New Jersey.
Okay, very good. What about y'all? Okay.
Massachusetts.
Where?
Massachusetts.
Okay.
Turkey.
Okay, very good. Do y'all speak English?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Everybody else speak English? Yeah. All right, do y'all speak Texan? So in trouble.
No.
I'm just teaching you. We got lots of territory to cover today, so we're going to get started. This house actually, and the ranch was built in 1970. It was built by a gentleman by the name of J.R. Duncan. That's Mr. Duncan over in that far right-hand corner of that picture. His wife Natalie in that yellow blouse. And when they built this ranch in 1970, they had 3 teenage boys out here. Now, Mr. Duncan used to sell horses to John Wayne and Doc Severinsen out here. People that would spend $1 million on one horse. So needless to say, he was doing pretty well for himself. Of course, Mr. Duncan also was a home builder here in this area, and he actually built custom homes. He actually built this home for his family and their own specific needs. Now, this picture actually was taken the very first day in 1978 when they did the very first filming out here on the ranch. Now, you know, if you know anything about the show, Dallas, you know the first 5 pilot episodes of the show, they were actually filmed at another ranch, just a little northwest of here in a town called Frisco, Texas. Now, they were forced to find a new location to finish doing the rest of the filming because guess what? Larimar Productions, they never thought that show was going to go beyond those first 5 pilot episodes. So all of a sudden, when they found out that that was the case, it was going to go on, those people weren't interested in doing it beyond the first 5 pilots, so they were forced to find a new location to finish doing the rest of the filming. Now, Larimar Productions actually gets in a helicopter. They start flying all over the Dallas-Fort Worth area, and when they flew over this ranch, the very reason they picked this ranch, as they flew over the property, they just didn't think a bad picture could be taken from any vantage point on the outside. So one day a helicopter flies in here and it lands right out here on this front paddock. Now, I can tell you right now that Mr. Duncan was out there doing his horse business, blowing and going, and all of a sudden, I can tell you right now, that helicopter landed and he was furious. He goes storming out there, shaking his finger at those people saying, listen here, you gentlemen need to get off my property right now. You've frightened all my livestock and I'm not interested in doing any business with you. So of course, those gentlemen, they got right back in the helicopter and they took off. Now we know, when people really want something, they're pretty persistent about it. These people were. They flew back in here about 2 weeks later. Again, they landed that helicopter right out there again. Now Mr. Duncan throws his hands up in the air and he's just gonna madder than a setting hen. I tell you what, all of a sudden he goes storming out there. Well, those men knew what they were about to face. So all of a sudden, they hopped out of that helicopter as soon as it landed. They started up this long conversation with Mr. Duncan, and by the time they got to the end of that conversation, they had finally convinced Mr. Duncan to allow him to film out here on the ranch. Now, of course, Mr. Duncan, though, puts 2 conditions on the contract. He tells them, first of all, that they can only film out here during the months of June, July, and August. That's so that it doesn't disrupt the children's school year. Secondly, he only allows them to film here on the exterior of the house. So every single shot you ever saw on the show that had anything to do with an outside shot, whether it was a summer or winter scene, were always filmed right here on the ranch. Now, Larimar Productions at that point are forced to go back to Culver City, California, and that's really where they built a 40,000 square foot stage set. That's where they did all the inside filming. They spliced those inside and outside parts together, and guess what? They fooled the whole world, made all of us think that it was all filmed in one location. Now, things would move smoothly out here for a very long time, but I can tell you what, when people found out all those movie stars were out here, people inundated the ranch from all over the world out here. They came out here by the thousands. You could have looked out any of these windows all the way around the house here. Thousands and thousands of people. They stayed there 24 hours a day. They were relentless to the Duncan family. They wanted to get an autograph, maybe talk to them, maybe get some of their clothing, get them to, whatever. I mean, it was a crazy, crazy time out here at that point. all of a sudden people would go up on the main balcony on the back side of the property. They'd be staring at the ducklings when they're laying in their own bed in the morning. They walk up to people swimming out in their swimming pool as if it was their own swimming pool. I mean, I'm telling you, it was crazy. All of a sudden, you know, when they had that famous cliffhanger, Who Shot JR, it was the very same thing. All of a sudden, people inundated the ranch again from all over the place. They brought cards and flowers and letters out here by the bucket loads. All of a sudden, they were bringing food out here by the truckloads. They were hoping that JR was going to be feeling a whole lot better. Now, the way I look at it, needless to say, there were some people who didn't quite get that big old picture there, but things kept moving along. Now, finally, by 1984, and those ducklings, they just decided they had all the fame and fortune they needed out of the deal. It was time for them to sell this ranch. Now, they actually sold the ranch to this one gentleman. His name was Terry Tribbett. Now, Mr. Tribbett is the gentleman who built that convention center, that large convention center over there, the visitors area, and the museum where you all came in today. Now, of course, we've had every single party out here you could ever imagine. If you could think of one, we've probably done it in some form or fashion out here. Of course, we've seen every country and Western entertainer out here as well for different clients when they were having big parties out here. Now, of course, we let people rock and roll and have a good time out here. Once Mr. Tribbett had this place, though, way down the line, he decides to use this ranch and the house as collateral in another business deal. Guess what? He ends up losing every single thing he's got out here. They board up all the windows here on the house and they lock those front gates, and I'm telling you what, that party was over with. The ranch then stayed empty for 2 years. Now, in 1992, though, that's when our current owner comes in here, a gentleman by the name of Rex Mullen. This is Rex over here in this picture with Linda Gray. Now, he's our current owner. He came in here in 1992. He purchased the ranch for $2.6 million cash at an auction. Got himself a great deal because I know the ranch is worth way more than that today. Now, when Rex bought it, though, he knew the house had been closed up for those 2 years, so he hires a decorator and gives her $500,000 to come in and decorate the inside of the house as if what she thought it might look like had the Ewings lived here in the house. So, of course, we're going to go through the house today. This house is about 6,000 square feet. It has 4 bedrooms, 7 bathrooms here. Those Duncans were very social people, so they needed all those extra bathrooms when they were filming out here. Now, of course, we call this room Bobby's boardroom. This was really just the Duncans' 3-car garage when they lived here. It was converted into this room so that we can use it as a tourism business as yourselves all day long here. In the evenings, we can have small weddings, dinner parties, luncheons, meetings, cocktail parties. So that way you kind of get a little idea of how they filmed out here. Now, in several scenes, several scenes that they filmed out here, it would be during the winter time. So you can imagine when it was like in the upper, in the middle hundreds out here, that they would be filming out there. And they'd have all those big old fur coats on and everything. They would have fake snow brought in and blown all over the lawn out here. Whenever they needed to have really, really very, very green grass, they would spray it with a can of paint. I mean, they did lots of crazy things out here when they were filming. Now, you're going to notice this mirror here in the background. That was the decorator's signature look. She kind of happened to like that design so well, so she did it 2 other times throughout the house. I'll be pointing those out to you as well. Now, today, we let y'all stay here as long as you'd like to. We let you take all the pictures that you'd like to. We just ask you don't take those big pictures off the wall. That's about it, okay? Anybody have any questions so far? Nope, y'all are quiet as a church mouse.
So the redecoration over here was never used as a full set?
Nothing, there will be several rooms in this house where they actually did filming out here. I'll tell you about it when we get down in the room. Nothing in this house is duplicated from that stage set because that house downtown Dallas, this is 6,000 square feet. That house downtown Dallas was probably 10 or 12 times larger than this house. You could have never made that house look anything like this house. None of that furniture would have ever fit in this little bitty house. So this is just the decorators interpretation, okay?
Sorry, just one more question.
То есть они даже не снимали здесь? А нет, они снимали только outside. Inside это там только... И то только в summer time. А они, кстати, бешеные деньги. Вот это интересно. Это американские, как смарт, да? Они сделают так тебе в это, потом в Лос-Анджелес.
But that's just kind of how they always rock and roll. Y'all come on this way. You notice we have a bar here. We have another one in the living room. That's to accommodate for all those parties that might have alcohol served at it. We're going to let you all come in this room. You'll step back in so you can, I've got a lot of things to tell you in here as well as show you as well. Y'all come on in. Now, did y'all just arrive in Texas? Have y'all been in Texas for a while?
Yes.
Okay, y'all got to see a lot of Texas?
Yes.
Good. What about y'all? What about you?
I mean, for business, not really.
Oh, okay, very good. What about y'all?
It's our first trip.
Okay, have you been here very long?
A day. It's
A
our
day?
second.
Okay, well, I've got great places to tell you to go today. How long are you gonna be here?
One day.
What, one day? Oh.
Arizona,
Well, congratulations, very good. Well, it's nice to have all of you. You'll notice, this room originally was the Duncan's den when they lived here. We call it JR's den today. There's a little bathroom in that left-hand corner, you may want to check it out. Now, we call that a Texas two-ower. That just means there's two potties back there. So if you need to use the restroom while you're here today, you can use that one. Those Duncans, they were very social people, so they needed a lot of extra bathrooms in their house. And of course, he built this house exactly as he wanted it. Now you'll notice this is real leather on the walls. This is a beautiful application of that. These two horse benches here, those were made by an artisan for Southport. You will not see that pattern anywhere else but right here on the ranch. Now those are made out of a tree that's very indigenous to this area here. Now if you know, when y'all were walking up today, you saw this little glass table out here. That table's 41 years old. That's the original table where they sat for every single breakfast shot on that show. Many lunches were served there. They always had a lot of fights.
This
right
one?
there. Yes, ma'am, that glass table. They would put a buffet back over here. They would have a little yellow tea cart on this side. All the cast members would exit out that sliding glass door over there where you see that little yellow awning there, to always come out to do their filming. Now, you know, on that show, they did lots of things out here when they were filming to make you think you're seeing something that you're not. You know, they always swam in an Olympic-sized swimming pool on that show. Well, this is really the swimming pool that they were always swimming in. You'll notice it's not an Olympic-sized swimming pool. They would put Patrick Duffy down in the deep end of the swimming pool in this clear harness. He would take off swimming like crazy. Of course, as he was swimming, he wasn't going anywhere. They put these huge mirrors that ran down both sides of the swimming pool, used the wide angle lens on the camera, just made you think it was that Olympic-sized swimming pool on the show, okay? Now, when we come down this hallway here on the right-hand side, that's going to be our formal dining area. There's going to be two beautiful Waterford crystal chandeliers over the table. They're valued at $7,500 each when they put them in the house in the early 80s. There's a beautiful mahogany table in there with a 10-place setting of Nortaki china with the tassel pattern, and then another mirror on the mirror. And now, I'll tell you right now, in the evening times, we take down all these ropes you see throughout the house here. We can do sit-down dinners in there, murder mysteries, presentations of wedding cakes, birthday cakes, buffet can be in there. We just let you use the house as if it were your own private home, okay? Then across from that dining area is going to be Miss Ellie's kitchen. Now, remember, Barbara Bell Getting was Miss Ellie on the show, and she happened to like the design of our kitchen so well, she requested that our kitchen be reproduced on the stage set in California. Well, they did do that. They made it 3 times the size for cameras and extra people when they were filming in there. Of course, course, on the show is always country blue, cream, brown, and yellow. Our kitchen in this house is red. That's what our boss, Mr. Duncan, not Mr. Duncan, Mr. Mon painted it when he bought this out here years ago. Now, of course, you're going to see an island in the middle, a sub-zero refrigerator, lots of amenities back behind those cabinets. And I can tell you right now, in the 1970s in this area, you would have never had a house with those kind of amenities unless you had a whole lot of money in your pocket. Okay, let's head on down. Y'all can stop and get you some pictures. There you go. Come on down. Off to the right there is that beautiful dining room that I was telling you about. Of course, Willie's here in the kitchen. She's the other tour guide today. That's not Miss Ellie.
Wow, nice. Pe fundal se aude muzică de la Dallas. Miroase a vechi.
Is that the location where they have the breakfast, where the table is, or?
Where that glass table is, that's where they ate every breakfast on that show. Yeah, so today you'll want to make sure you get a little picture out there before you leave.
But
Yeah.
none of this was in the show.
Once everybody gets in here, I'm going to tell you which rooms that they actually filmed in. Yeah. They did a little filming here in the house, but not a whole lot, to tell you the least. Of course, you know, because the Duncans remained living here the whole time, it was kind of rather difficult. When they would be filming here, all those cast members would be all huddled up in there in that kitchen. That table where you saw that lady sitting there in the kitchen, they actually filmed several scenes right there at that table, okay? Now, we call, did I leave somebody?
This is my cousin. It's okay.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
no problem. We call this room Jock's living room for that portrait of Jim Davis over the fireplace. Now, you know, Jim Davis actually played that part from 1978 to 1981. When he really passed away, he had cancer. Now, Larry Hagman's father was absent in his house, in his life. So Jim Davis actually was his mentor. So he was very sad when he passed away. Now, when Larry Hagman worked out here, y'all, he always drank 4 bottles of champagne every single day out here. He really was an alcoholic in real life. He never made any excuses about that. I can tell you he lived every single day of his life as if it was his very last day on earth. I can tell you. The original portrait of Jim Davis, that actually hung over the fireplace on the stage set in California. Now, one day at the very end of the filming of the series, some gentleman came in there on the stage set. He took that original portrait right off the wall. He put it under his arm and he marched himself right off that stage set. And I'll tell you what, nobody ever saw that portrait ever again. Can you imagine somebody doing something like that? It was Larry Hagman. He took it home with him. He hung it over his own fireplace. That's exactly where it stayed until he passed away. Once he died, it actually was auctioned off for $39,200. So I say that's a chunk of money, to say the least. They only filmed in this house 3 times over all those years you were asking. They filmed 2 times here in this living room. Patrick Duffy and Larry Hagman up at those wing chairs and all the cast members here on the sofas. So that was the 2 reunion shows that they filmed. Now, the 3rd time they filmed here was actually for the reboot show. Did any of you happen to see the reboot show? All right, well, I'm going to tell everybody else what happened so they'll be on the same page. Of course, what happened is they knew Larry Hagman wasn't going to live much longer in the very end of the story because he had already gotten cancer in his 2nd liver because he never changed his lifestyle. Now, of course, they had to come up with a storyline to accommodate for his death in real life. So Lorimar Productions decided they were going to have him go to Nuevo Laredo, Mexico. He was going to stay in this old nasty, seedy hotel called Cologne. And he was going to have his best friend Bum come in and shoot him to death. That's exactly what happened. Then, of course, Cliff Barnes got framed for his death. He had to spend the rest of his life in the Mexican prison. So, you know, that Cliff Barnes, he always got the bad end of the deal every single time. So Laura Moore Productions actually came back out to the ranch about a month after Larry Hagman died. They painted this back hallway here where there's 3 bedrooms. That's where the Duncan boys slept when they lived here in the house. Now, they painted the hallway all black, scuffed up all the walls, put numbers on each one of the doors back there. That's to make you think you're going down that long hallway in that old nasty, seedy hotel cologne. Back to the crime room, the last room on the left-hand side, number 22. You're going to see JR's body outlined on the floor there, a little blood action. That's where he met his maker at the very end of the storyline. Now, Patrick Duffy and Larry Hagman, they were great friends when they worked here. They always had so much fun, and they loved to play pranks on one another. So one day, they were fooling around, having too much fun. Leonard Passman, who was the producer of the show, he'd have to separate them like 2 little young boys and put them on opposite sides of the room so that they could do filming. Now, we always have Larry at our bar there. There's some glasses and a decanter. You're welcome to pick those up. You can take a great picture. You can roast or toast him if you'd like. We want you to have fun. But if you don't want to, you don't have to do that. The first room down that hallway on the right is going to be, why don't you wait for just a minute and then we'll go down that hallway. Charlene Tilton, her room is on the right-hand side. Now, y'all remember, Charlene Tilton was only 17 years old when she started playing that part many years ago. Today, she's actually 63 years old. Now, she married Johnny Lee many years ago. He was a country rocker back then. Charlene Tilton was only married to him for 2 years, and they had that one daughter, Cherish Lee. Well, that daughter is now trying to get a recording contract in Nashville, just like her dad did, following in his footsteps. Now, the last room down that hallway is going to be for Patrick Duffy. And you know, Patrick Duffy, he turned 73 years old this year. On St. Patrick's Day, he has this beautiful ranch in the southern part of Oregon, and he doesn't mind telling you one bit. I don't ever leave my house unless I get paid lots of money. I'm going to tell you what. There was none of those people that ever left their house unless they got paid lots of money, because that was the name of the game for them, and they all made a ton of money over the years. Now, Patrick Duffy, you know, he was married to his wife for like over 40-something years, and she passed away about 3 years ago. She had cancer, and he said, you know what, I'm just so heartbroken, I don't think I'll ever fall in love again. Well, I'm here to tell you, don't go around saying never, because he's fallen in love with Linda Pearl. She happened to be Fonzie's girlfriend on Happy Days. That's a show that was aired here in America. I don't know if y'all got it in your countries or not. But of course, they just announced that they're engaged, and we assume they'll be getting married sometime real soon. So at this time, if you want to get pictures here, get all the rest of your pictures in here, you can go down the hallway, check it out, come back here in the living room. We're going to go upstairs to the best part. That's JR's master suite up there, okay?
Ah, okay, thank you.
So did that answer your questions, kind of what they did? No, are you so disappointed?
No, people. So, when was the episode where JR was shot? Which year?
Willie, what year was the episode when JR got shot?
Tare îmi place mie de fata asta, Lucy. Așa era micuță, blondă, frumușică.
Thank you. Yeah. Honey, you're not old. No, you're not. I know, it's really fun. You know, some people just don't always understand. But if we, you know, why we really tell the whole story, it's so that you really understand how they do.
Dar m-ați întrebat să traduc. Cum să traduc când ea vorbește atât de rapid? Deci, și cum să vorbesc dacă ea vorbește și așa mi-au făcut, vorbeam cu verișoara mea și au făcut șt. Deci vă imaginați, puțin vă rog, când comentați, puneți-vă în locul meu sau în locul doamnei, nu știu. Aveți puțină empatie, puneți-vă în situație. Eu vă fac live-ul așa cum este, cum e și pentru mine. Da, dar ce au făcut așa ca sale.
That's where we shop. Huh? Huh? Good.
Ce întuneric. A, da, ea spunea de tapete negre. Oare să fie asta? Nu știu.
Pardon? That's where he was shot, supposedly shot by his best friend. Now, I don't call somebody my best friend if they're gonna shoot me, you know what I'm saying? But that was just the storyline that they came up with, yeah. And yeah, they actually came out here and filmed it. That was the third time that they actually filmed down here. The rest of the time, they always were filming on the exterior. They used houses within a 30 or 40 mile radius around here for different people's houses. Like Ray Krebs's house is way back behind us here, about 2 or 3 blocks. And then they would pick up other houses around that area to use for different people's houses on the show.
See, he wasn't shot in the series.
Well, JR got shot, remember, by Kristen? Okay, that was, you know, who shot JR. You know, that was all.
Ты где? Давай мне фотку делай там. Все тут комментарии. Она быстро разговаривает вообще. Тексан это акцент твоего.
She wanted him.
Я не из-за этого
to
не
just
понимаю,
have
просто мне
her and not any other women. And that wasn't who JR was. He slept around with all the women, you know, in the store. He's looking at me like, oh, Lord. Isn't that crazy?
Можешь на твой это делаешь? Делай мне на твой.
Alrighty, once she gets back down here, we're gonna go on upstairs. Now, I can tell you right now, when those Duncans lived here in this house, they never allowed their children to go upstairs at all. I've never heard that before in my life, but that's exactly the way they lived. So those boys would stand down here on this staircase and they'd yell up at their mom and dad and tell them what they're needed. I guess because they were older, they thought that was okay, I guess. Of course, we're going to head on upstairs. Y'all follow me up here. We're going to check it all out. See what JR's bedroom is all about. We'll be coming back down to this area in a minute. We're going to be talking, first of all, we'll be looking out this front window here, and this big doorway here. Of course, I'm going to tell you about the main entrance here of the ranch.
Да, вообще плохо.
Now, as you come up the stairs, you're looking out these front doors. That road that you came in on today, that used to be just a 2-lane road out here. It had cotton fields all the way around here. So I mean,
O, are voce bună, doamna. Давай, посмотрим, а то как красиво, да, тут? Uitați ce frumos aici.
They probably used to sit there in the evening time, have a little hot toddy, and would watch the Texas sunsets through those windows. Now, this little room behind me, beyond this little library area, it's marked private. That was Mrs. Dudley's craft room when she lived here in the house. Has another bathroom in there. We use it for a bride's room today. Any bride getting married anywhere here on the ranch, we let the girls always come over here. They get dressed. They usually come down on that staircase and have their portraits made. Now, y'all get your cameras out ready because we're going to go into JR's master bedroom. And I'm going to tell you what, this is not just your old everyday bedroom in here.
Stați puțin că am probleme tehnice. Am 2 mâini și nu pot să mă descurc să țin toate aparatele. Uai, ce frumos este aici. Ah. deschisă. Parcă am nevoie acum de așa ceva. Ok.
Y'all come around this side of the bed, you're gonna see this beautiful antique on wall right here. Back behind the bed, there's gonna be a portrait of Larry Hackman and Linda Gray. Those are great pictures to get a picture of them today. Then you can step down into the Duncan's bathroom. Now, when the Duncans lived here, this bathroom, he built it with 5 different rooms. Y'all walk right on
Wow!
down. First door
Cam.
to the left is a sauna, a bidet in the ladies' bathroom, telephone and JR's. He always took care of lots of business in the bathroom. Total mirror bath area with a pink sunken jacuzzi bathtub, a walk-in marble shower, and those 2 large sinks there.
You didn't
Now-
use this exact one.
This,
was
the Duncans, the
The
first
Duncans
owner,
used it.
they used
No
it, yes.
full.
Yes, only other people that have used this are people that have spent the night here on the ranch. Y'all watch your step going down. Now, everything is original to when the Duncans lived here, with the exception of that shower and the floor. When they last year, when they had people spend the night, they found out that they had a leak in that shower, so they had to redo the floor of the shower.
O,
But
ce plouă afară.
everything else is original. And certainly in the
Că aproape totul este
1970s,
original.
you would have
Ceva
never
acolo
had
era o
a
diferență,
sauna
doar
in your bathroom, nor would you have ever had a bidet. Most Americans in the 70s didn't even know what a bidet was. Anybody have any questions?
Lucy's room and Bobby's room downstairs. Were they rigged up?
Cum nici cardul.
Produced from that station in California because that house was
It
so
was just a
much.
decorated.
Yeah, this is her vision of what she thought it would look like had they lived here, yeah. All that furniture was so large and everything, there's no way they could have.
Except for the black walls of the motel.
Right,
And that room where he was shot, is that the actual room where he
Uh-huh,
was born?
absolutely, absolutely. We're gonna go out on the balcony. Now, I'm gonna tell you what, it's wet out there, it's raining pretty good. We could stay up underneath, this little area right here, that is, actually covered so that you don't get wet. Is this a two-way coming in? Actually, you're really kind of glad it's really raining.
Acolo este chiar vin adevărat. Zice că ești într-o grădină. Duș. Toaletă. Stai să mă duc repede pe balcon că eu sunt în întârziere cu dacă tot filmez și sunt... Sorry.
That's okay. Now, originally, we started out with 200 acres out here. Today, we have 343 acres. You can have a concert here where you can see 10,000 people at any given time out here. They put big stages in the way back.
10,000?
And then you park 10,000 cars
Fac
over here.
concerte
Now,
cu
y'all
10.000
step
de...
to this side so you can see what I'm talking about. Of course, we're no longer a working ranch out here, but we keep livestock out here all the time. You see those Texas Longhorn cows over there. Now, all of our animals here on the ranch are all very spoiled. So when it starts to rain, they like to be put up in their barns. That's probably where they all are today. You'll see this one little barn here in the middle there with the door open. That's where Swell and Dusty used to have lots of love rendezvous there. Now we have another barn on the property that has a loft in it, a bigger barn, and they also filmed it in as well. Now in the little cemetery, the Poti cemetery is Larry Hackman, Linda Gray, and Barbara Malgetti over there. That little house there, that was actually Mr. Duncan's little business office when he had his horse business out here. And where you see that red neon sign over there, that's where the 1978 Lincoln Continentals parked that Jim Davis drove on the show. Now, John Wayne actually was the first person that was asked to play Jock on the show. He said, you know what, I just found out I've got cancer, I can't do that, but you know, I've got this really good friend, his name's Jim Davis, he's down on his luck, he really needs a job and some money fast. Well, they interviewed him, now they gave him the job. He did not have enough money to buy himself a car, so Leonard Katzman, the producer of the show, actually bought him that 1978 Lincoln Continental that's parked right over there. Now, when you go into Lincoln's today, you can go immediately to your left there. There's some double doors there. You can go, that ballroom over there has two different large ballrooms. They're having two huge events here this weekend. One room is going to have like 1,800 people. The other one's going to have about 1,000 more. One's a prom and one's a cultural kind of party. Now, right back down that west drive over there, that's where they used to have a lot of trailers out there. That's where everybody had their makeup on, their clothes on. They would have their, they would be picked up in a golf cart. They would be taken to the appropriate place where they'd be filming that day. So you have to remember, though, in all these fields, all the way around the house here, thousands of people. They used to climb the fence, come up here, be staring at the ducklings when they were waiting for them. Now, this whole area that's fenced in by the house here, that's where Miss Ellie used to have all of her big barbecues on the show. They'd have the chuck wagon
Răspuns
here,
pentru
they'd
mama.
actually have,
Mă aflu la
big old
Dallas,
grill out here, they'd have cowboys and cowgirls, they'd have the big
în
bands
filmul
here,
Dallas.
they'd have food and drink stations inside and out, and they let them rock and roll and have a fun time out here.
Și bine ați venit la toată lumea care persistă să se uite chiar dacă nu înțelege engleza sau greu de înțeles accentul texan.
Now, Linda Gray, she actually got married there twice. The first time didn't make it. The second time did. In fact, she just lost her husband recently. She's had a very difficult year this year because she also lost her son as well. So we still stay in contact with Linda Gray and Charlene Tilton over Facebook after all these years. Okay. Pardon? Who? Pamela, Victoria Principal. Sorry, Victoria. Okay, you know, Victoria Principal, she was the only person that was not friendly out here. She always kind of had her nose up in the air. She would not look at you. She would not talk to you. One day came over here and Pat, they were filming in here, and you'd have to be like, you couldn't hardly breathe when they were in there filming, because the microphones picked up every single little sound. And Patrick Duffy came in the back door and he said, oh, would you like to get me a Coke, please? And I went over to the kitchen, got him a Coke. Now, I came back over here with his Coke, and then he drank it, of course. And then 2 years later, he was here doing a promo for somebody else's product that he was endorsing. And he actually came in the back door with 2 Cokes. He called me by my name. He said, Vicki, let's sit down and have a Coke together. You know, that's the kind of person he was. He was just really a very kind person. Charlene Tilton, you know, she is a darling girl, or woman. She actually always had a smile on her face, always had something nice to say. She was very effervescent, to say the least. Linda Gray, she's the most gracious lady that you would ever meet. So is Barbara Belgetti. Cliff Barnes, let's go on in the house, so it's got to get a little chilly out here. Of course, Cliff Barnes, he was a chain smoker. Now, he would start smoking when he got here at 5 o'clock in the morning. Of course, he would end up, they would sometimes not leave here until 3 or 3:30 in the morning. Of course, once they did that, from the time he got here until he left in the wee hours of the morning. Now, of course, you know, he actually died of lung cancer, certainly, understandably. Why? Because he smoked like a chimney stack, to say the least. excuse me, let's head out this way. I'm going to show you something out here on the main driveway. Another way that they actually trick your eye.
Aștept să iasă toată lumea ca să mai filmez o dată camera fără lume și poate reușesc să bag vreo 5-10 minute de... Eu eram la școală. Ce sentiment poți să ai când te plimbi prin copilăria ta? Bune! Mă simt de minune. Hai să iasă toată lumea și să fac un adevărat.
Some of you can look out this window, or some of you at this door, and some of you at the window. Now, if you remember on that show, Jim Davis used to come down a really
Cât de mare este dormitorul și ce pat, vai de mine, pe acele timpuri. Yeah, we are coming.
Honey,
Can I just 1 minute, 30 seconds? Just okay, thank you. Pot să le fac pe toate în același timp. Acum cred că vă imaginați cât e de dificilă munca de vlogger. Și încă asta nu e nimic.
don't you remember that Jim Davis used to come down a really long driveway? You'd have all that dirt flying in the air. Well, I can tell you right now, it didn't really happen that way. They would start Jim Davis's car down at that main gate where you see that tree line. They sprinkled white cooking flour all over the road, all the way up to the house here, very generously. Then let it blaze off and back up, blaze off and back up. Now they spliced all those parts together. They just made us think it was that long driveway with all that dirt flying in the air. It was just flour flying in the air. So we always say out here, what you see is not always what you get. But if you want to get a great picture today of the main entry with the South Fork sign on it, when you leave the parking lot today, make an immediate left, go down to gate 3. That's where that tree line is there, and it has the big South Fork sign over it. It's recessed back up in there. You can pull your car right up in there, get out, get you a great picture of the main entry, okay? Now we're going to head on downstairs here. Of course, if you want to take any other pictures after the tour, you're welcome to stay here as long as you like and do that. You're going to notice this beautiful bronze eagle as you come down the stairs here. Now that was Larry Haglund's. It was in his house in California, and when Larry passed away, a lot of his items were auctioned off. Everything Larry ever had was a commission piece. So our boss bought that at an auction so that he would have something here for Larry because they had a great working relationship. It also happens to be the logo of our parent company. Now, we have a little bathroom here, which you would have never had in the 1970s. We call it our Texas Lone Star gaudy bathroom. I just let y'all decide whether you think it's gaudy or not. Red wallpaper on the ceilings, the walls, a mirror on a mirror, and a beautiful G. Harvey print in there of the Adolphus Hotel, which is a very famous hotel downtown Dallas. It still exists today, and it was depicted in the early 20s. Of course, that hotel still exists today, and that's where all the movie stars would stay when they came out here to do their filming. Now, you may have noticed that this front door is a little bit wider than most front doors. There's a reason for that. Many years ago in the Deep South, this front door was called a casket door. When somebody passed away, a body was brought back home, it was put at state in the living room. A couple of days later, the people would go in the parlor, visit with the family. Then a couple of days later, they would take that body out to be buried. Now, you have to remember, though, years ago, men's stature was much smaller than it is today, and coffins were way smaller. So that's a reason they always fit out this door right here. Now, you'll notice this door here to my right. Of course, this door actually in the deep south was always called a Christian door. For the cross on the top of the door, the bottom section was the Bible open. So when the pallbearers brought that body into the house to be put at stake, they paused a moment here at the front door, said a prayer, placed the body in the living room for a couple of days. When they took the body out to be buried, they paused again, said a prayer, and then exited the house. Do y'all have any questions at all?
Must make it real nice to get a couch in and out.
Honey, I'm going to tell you what, everybody should have this kind of door. It's a great door. Of course, that does conclude your visit while you're here today. We appreciate y'all coming out today. Hope you had fun. Hope you learned a little something about South Fork and that show Dallas maybe you didn't know before. Of course, when you're here, we hope that you can go over to Fort Worth. I can tell you what, you look up Fort Worth Stockyards on your phone. A great place. It's about 45 minutes from here. Well worth your time. They run the Texas Longhorn cattle down the road twice a day.
At 4 o'clock or
Yeah,
11:30?
Yeah.
And 4.
Both. Have you already been over there?
No, I would like to.
Okay, well, make sure you try to go. They've got Billy Bob's, the biggest honky tonk in the world. Even if you don't drink, you want to go there. I'm telling you what, you'll have fun. They've got great places to eat, great bars along the place. They've got great shopping over there. Lots of other things to do that.
2 weeks
Then
ago.
just
It's
make
very good.
sure you check that out if you have time to. Now, if downtown Dallas, you want to go to the 6th floor museum, JFK Memorial. Those are in conjunction with each other. Great library there. There is Ross Perot Museum there. Morton Meyerson Symphony Hall's there. National Art Area, the Union Arena Ball that lights up. It's an observation deck. You can eat there or just go and look around Dallas here. Of course, Dallas is not quite as much fun as the Fort Worth area because when people moved here years ago, starting out, they always moved to the Dallas area, and that's where they built all their businesses. So that's very business oriented, where Fort Worth's just real laid back and fun. Now, the rest of your tour is self-guided, so I'm going to give you an option here at this point. He's going to be coming back over here maybe in about 10 or 15 minutes. So you're welcome to stay in the house and ride back with him on the tram, or you can walk the property. Now, the 4 most famous spots here on the ranch to get a picture, right out this front door. That's the front of the house. The pool, the table, back over at Lincoln Longhorns where that car's parked. Now, when you walk back over into the museum, when you open up the back door there, there's a picture facing you there. That picture is the very first house that they did the first 5 pilot episodes of the show Dallas, okay?
What is that? What is that?
When you go back over to the museum where you left,
Okay.
you open the door,
Yes.
there's a picture facing.
Okay.
That's the first house they used for the pilots.
Okay, thank you.
All righty. Well, as we all, it looks like it might not be raining now. You can go check it out. If not, come back on in the house. We always say here in Texas, happy trails. Y'all have a great day.
Thank
Thanks
you
for
very
coming out
much.
today.
Thank you very much.
Ce frumusețe!
Yeah, we don't want you to get soaked. Just
S-a oprit și ploaia și vreau să fac puțin și din față. Foarte frumos. Nu știu dacă vouă v-a plăcut, în orice caz, da, mie îmi place la nebunie. A căzut jos, da. A căzut jos din nou și eu cred că o să mă opresc, mai am încă 10 minute, vreau să... De fapt, aș putea să stau și mai mult, dar sunt 10 minute până vine înapoi tractorul să ne ia, dar Uberul vine să ne ia la 12:35, deci vreau să am 5-10 minute pentru ca să explor și poate vine și un vlog. Zic poate pentru că ajung la overdoză. Нет, машина нет, она через 10 минут трактор приезжает. Только что сказала. А как раз будет. Машина же 35. Нет. Сколько там?
Так если он только через 10 минут приедет, пока мы доедем.
Нет, там Nu, bine, v-am zis la revedere.